All right. Obviously, another day, another bag, right?
Raygun's Legos, bricks and toys.
All right, toy fans. So listen, hey, it's new week. We got another day. We're looking at day three, bag three, and I went ahead and looked, and we'll actually be using this as well for some of it. So I'll go ahead and get this out. Now this is the light pack for this. We get a piece here that is a router, and they actually have these like weird little pieces you gotta pop. And I mean, they are teeny tiny. They are smaller than the Lumabricks little router pieces, so they are small. Kind of got that back on there, and this is gonna stick on the outside of a brick. Not quite sure how I feel about it, but you know, I've dealt with things like this before. We do need some AAAs. I'll look and see. I might be out of AAAs right now, but we've got that piece there. And then we get 1, 2, 3 different lights, and they're in this translucent yellow. So we're going to have some kind of yellow light for each one of these, which could be pretty cool, honestly. All right, let's see. So, again, and I know I've mentioned this before, one of the things I like about, let me get rid of the heavy trash and then we'll talk about it. One of the things I like is they've got everything bagged together. So, bag three, instead of having, going through like, oh, do I have all of this? Everything for bag three is together in bag three. So 3-3, 3-1, 3-4, and 3-2 are all there. And I like that aspect. It's something that not everyone does. I do like it when it happens, because it can make a lot of the build easier and faster. Okay, so it looks like most of these are all small. So we've got one bag of bricks and plates over in this, with a few pieces. We got a mailbox, 3x5 leaves, and then all of our small stuff goes right here. And we got lots of plants. Lots of plants. I've got a lot of, like, I've got my space. I've got, of course, that Sakura Lume, the pea house, what is it? The pea, sweet pea house, I think is what it was called. It's a cool set. Don't get me wrong, it is a cool set, and I built that sidewall over there. My plan is to have these kind of close to one another and kind of build these things out, but I am going to need some space. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move some things around. I'll put these here. I'll put that in there. I'll move this down here so we can see just a little bit better. There we go. And I'll fix our sign right here. Boom. Okay. Got our sticker sheet. I do believe we are going to be putting several stickers on, which works out. I'm okay with that. Always good with. Here's the thing. Do I love printed bricks? Yes. I love printed bricks more than anything. But at the same time, I'm also okay with the sticker sheets, as long as they are not stickers that go over so many places that it just becomes obnoxious. And I think that's my key thing. When I get stickers that start going over, like, 5 plates on the side, and I'm like, no, stop it, stop. That's not correct. I love how I'm being so judgmental towards the buildings. Like, no, you can't do that. That is wrong, and you deserve death. It's one of those. It's like, again, like I'm working on getting my own design. I'm finishing that. I need to go print it. Might do that tomorrow. But I got to go print it, you know, do the copyright stuff on it, figure out what platform I'm putting it on. And it's like one of those, it's like once you build your own thing, and it's like, hey, I've been working at doing mocks. I've been working at building this and this and this. I've been working at doing all this sort of stuff. And now I am, you know, selling my own designs and doing this and this and this. And it's like, you get through and then you look and you're like, you mean to tell me, your infinite wisdom, you decided to put a sticker, one large sticker over the side of 11 individual bricks, a lot of which were like 1x1s? What were you thinking? And that's just me personally. I was like, use a panel. A, you cut down the amount of bricks. B, you're not putting a sticker over multiple. Here's the thing. If they go over like 1 or 2 pieces, whatever. 3 pieces tops, I get it. But it's when it goes over like a whole bunch of pieces. I cannot handle that sort of... It's almost like a crime to me. Where I'm looking at it and I'm like, there should be guillotine service for people having put a sticker over the side of this build that covers 8 different bricks or plates. Because for me, I'm going to go and cut them, so I got to sit there and cut each one in between each brick. And I'm like, There have been a few times that I've had that in certain builds that I just won't even put the sticker on. I'm like, nope. Not going to happen. And it's sad because it's like, I want to finish the model and I want to do this. But oftentimes, a lot of the sets that I put together, they don't stay that way. And that's kind of the nature of building blocks for me personally, is that I'm going to build it, I'm going to enjoy it. Hey, I enjoyed the build. I enjoyed, putting X, Y, and Z together and, getting to experience this. Now, I want to rip it apart. I want to use some of the techniques that you utilized. And now I'm going to sit here and rebuild something and make it better, in my opinion. And so I want the ability to do that. And if you have a whole bunch of stickers that are all over the sides of things and all over this, and they have to be cut away in order to proportionately be able to use the blocks the way you want to. To me, that just feels like a crime. And again, I know that's me. That is wholeheartedly 100% me and my brain and how I deal with things. But it feels wrong. Very wrong. So, people like, companies like Lumabricks that give you printed pieces, even printed pieces across a certain amount of stuff, great with. I think it was like Mold Key, they give you stickers that you can take apart and line up, and they go over multiple things, and they're okay. I'm not, sometimes lining that stuff up is kind of rough, but all in all, it's like, it's not that bad. But having one sticker go over multiple pieces, sometimes I cannot excuse that. And I'm trying not to give names here because I definitely don't want to call companies out on things, but there's just there are times when it's like, listen, we didn't need that. We did not have to have this specific thing do this. We didn't have to have a sticker across the side of this arcade machine. Alright, so we need 13 centimeters, I believe. Where is my ruler? I guess my ruler is missing again, which, not a surprise, but That feels longer, so that feels like a 13. Let's go back and look at okay, so we'll have a 13, a 23, and a 32. Avi, that's the 13. Oh my goodness. Okay, and then we need a 2 by 10, 2 by 10 right there. Okay, now this is supposed to go 1, 2. It's going to anti-stud right in there. And this is supposed to go through this wall. So we left a hole in the wall, which kind of works. Speaking of which, if you ever, because that is getting stuck. So let's pull some of this up right here. There we go. So one trick, and I'll kind of show you here. Might have to get my tweezers for some of this. Okay. So we'll kind of go right down here. So one of the tricks that they're using in order to get this wire through is that they're using a gap right here that's kind of an empty spot, and they're putting another brick on top. Let's see, so kind of like this, right? And then you've got this kind of loose area of wire. Oftentimes, if you don't want that gap in there, what you can use is in that space. There we go. You can use one of these to fill in that space and run the wire underneath this area here coming out. So that is one way if you want to be able to run a wire in and not have this open space here. You can actually put a little 1x1 round stud in there, and that will change some of the aspect of how you're putting the wire in. It works. It really does work, and that's kind of a building technique idea that, hey, I'm sharing it with you because if you start working with wires and you're wanting to put in lights for things, that's a really solid, good technique to use, and it doesn't require a bunch of like proprietary sort of bricks and plates and all that. You can do it just, just on a whim with regular bricks and plates, right? Yeah, anytime that you have the round ones, oftentimes there's a little bit of a lip on it. You can hide wires underneath, so it's a good thing to have. Okay, so we're popping this on here. We've got 1, 2, kind of right here on the end. And it looks like this is fitting right up in here. I'm just kind of taking a look at future. If you're ever unsure about, hey, where exactly is this going, look at the next thing and it'll kind of tell you, it'll show you like where that stuff is. It does make a huge key difference being able to look ahead and see. So when you know that you have pretty decent instructions is when you look and you can see and realize, hey, I can look the next step forward and see exactly where they're going. You've got some good directions. Anytime that it's unclear, that's usually a time when it's like, hey, this thing probably needs to be rewritten in some form or fashion because it's just not very strong in what it's doing. All right, now we're doubling up these plates over here on the top. I'm pressing them in. I want to make sure those are nice and tight. And then we're coming back up through here. We're leaving this part over here gapped and open, but I'm guessing we will be putting something in there. So, trying not to stress. Got a 2x10, and then a 1x3, just one at this point. 1x3 is going right up here. 2x10 is going right here in the back. Alright, and that's kind of rounding up this whole top up here, and that's finishing that off. Which I will have to admit, that's a strong finish. It looks good. It's nice and finished. It has a really decent sort of structure to it. It feels nice and strong. We got the wire coming out here. I do kind of wish that that light would have moved back a little bit, so it's a little bit more in line with this. Listen, I build as is. Sometimes I change a few things here and there, depending on how much wire we have. That might actually get rebuilt, but for right now, we're going to leave it as is. Okay, so we've got two 2x6 tiles. Can't count studs here, so look on the back. We'll count them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Add 1, that's 6. These go between, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's how you know it's 2x6. And they're going right up here on the top. 1 and 2. Hopefully they're leaving studs in order to make sure that this module plates into the next. It has a little bit of grip. It doesn't have to have a lot, but you do want to have a few studs left over in order for it to grip naturally. 1 and 2. So we got a 1x4 tile and a 1x4 modified tile. Modified usually indicates that, hey, it's got some studs or something different. 2 studs on each end. We see these a lot. And this is usually what we use for clutch for the roof or the next floor above, that we can still take this off and get in and do what we need to do. Alright, let's see. We need a 2x4, 1x8, a 2x6, and then a 1x2 plate. So looking at this, our 1x2 plate's going right up here in this corner. 1x8's coming all the way down here. Make sure it's nice and clutched down. 2x6, and then the 2x4 is going here. Again, making sure that's all clutched down. Smart thing to do, tile here, some sort of plate right there. We're about to find out though. Okay, so let's see. We've got our mailbox. Love these little mailboxes. I have a whole bunch of the Jazzware City stuff because I actually wanted to make, it's an apartment wall that has the mailboxes built into the wall outside. I still might actually build that for something, but it's what I have in the book is just that one part, and then there's really nothing else. I think I'd like to build a little bit more, find a different way to build kind of an old office building sort of thing with the mailboxes. Okay, so we got this mailbox here. It is actually on the anti-stud in between the jumper stud. That's going to fit right over here. That's where we got our mailbox. Pretty basic stuff. Nothing too crazy, which I'm totally fine with. All right, so we got a leaf. It's like a dark leaf actually. And that is a 1x1 stud with tri-leaf design. Looks like a dark one. And now I took, if you remember, I took the greens out of those bins. I couldn't handle it there. And a 1x4 here. Okay, so we've got this leaf is studding right over here on this wall, over the top of that mailbox. And then this is going to fit right down here. Not quite sure what that's for. It doesn't say anything about a sticker there, so we don't have it. But I'm guessing these leaves are going to build into it to create something over here. Which, okay. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, and 4 of these leaves. So, and instead of the darker, we're going a little bit lighter. And we're kind of counting them down. So we've got, this one is going on the bottom. Over here. Right? Oh, let me turn it out. So again, I'm kind of looking, oftentimes I will be looking between two things. So I've got This telling me where they go, and then this one where I'm looking at the aftermath. So, oh, I'm on the wrong side. So I'm looking at this, I'm looking at the aftermath. So oftentimes when I'm building, I might be looking at 2 panels. Usually not a problem, unless the other panel's on the other side of the page. That's when you're like, oof, 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 I can't believe you did that to me. But it is all good. So I'm kind of turning these just to make sure that they are kind of where we want them to go. It's a lot of vine work, I guess, on the sides of this building. And hopefully they left enough studs so we have people that can walk around. Now, this one does not have any minifigs, unlike the Sakura Book Nook, who had 2 minifigs. This is more like the Sweet Tea House that has no minifigs with it. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, we got another leaf and a little 1x1 flower textured stud. It's going up top over in this area 1. And this one will go right here too. Okay. There we go. And now we need 2 more leaves. And they're all this bright green. We've got a couple dark leaves, but for the most part, they look like they're all going to be these brighter colored leaves. This one's going right here. And this one's going to be going up over here. Now, it says it's supposed to overlap this, but there's nothing to make it overlap the other. So I'm just going to kind of, I guess, like turn these so it textures out a little bit. My guess. My guess. Yeah. So kind of like that. And then we'll grab ourselves some of these flower studs. We need 3, and they're kind of a salmon color. I dig it. Honestly, I like salmon, man. Salmon sounds pretty good. Though I'm pretty full from eating. I had a really good sandwich. Still all on about with the He-Man stuff. That has never stopped. I just dig it, man. I dig it. It was a good movie. Okay. Now we need our peggable leaves. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now we're putting these in. We're going to be adding some texture. And it looks like 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're all going in here. And I guess we can do varying levels of height. So some of them overlap, so we can... I just want to make sure there's room for each one. There you go. So some will peg in a little bit further down, some not quite so much. Oh, that might have been too far. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and say it. I like the look of this. I think it looks nice, but there's a lot of the same color green. Quite honestly, I might have found another way of adding just something else to vary this up a little bit. I like the green, but it's all very specific green, and that means a lot, especially when you got this one dark green here. And this is all like a bright, almost primary green. It'd have been nice to have just a little bit different color green. I mean, I'm just saying. But, yeah. What do I know, right? I'm just a dude who has built a lot of sets. You know, interestingly enough, you know, when I first started this channel, I started... with like action figure repair, things like that. Stuff that I'm still very much into action figures. Some people who know me personally already know. Action figures, cosplay, painting, nerd stuff, like that's just That's what I do. But I will say that the building block aspect of things, it's a little bit more recent filming it, but I have been building off and on for almost 40 years. As a matter of fact, I think it has actually been 40 years. 40 years of building. And so when I am looking at these things and I'm seeing, like problems and stuff like that, it's like, hey, when I'm building these at this point, I'm looking for new techniques. I'm looking for new things that we can do. And anything that I learn from this, I usually will turn around and take it and use it for other things down the road, because I enjoy taking those building techniques and learning something new, trying something new, and getting that stuff out there. So if I look at it and it's just not a very good design, or it's not a very good sort of part of build, it's like, I could have passed, sort of thing. Okay. So let's pop that on. There we go. Some of these felt just a tad bit light. Alright, so we got this plant here. And this is going outside onto this stud right here. We're going to have to figure out how to turn. There we go. Turn it that way. That's how it's going to fit. Boom. Just like that. I'm surprised that we're not using green studs for the inside, because this is a plant. Or brown. Brown might have been really nice. We got white, which is not a problem, except that you can see it. So now it looks like a salt line on your plant, which is, if you got salt lines on your plant, I believe that's an indication that it's, is it overwatered or underwatered, or it needs like certain nutrients. I can't remember. I know that there is something specific in the plant if it has salt lines in it. There is something very specific about it. Alright, these go to the next one. I believe we got the salmon color. They're the ones that are going to go outside. So I got salmon and I've got this red. And it's hard to tell with the printing on which one is which. So we'll kind of do it like this. We got the salmon. We'll put it out front. The red will go in the next one over. Either way, I don't think it matters as much as you're just going to keep all of it kind of together. So this one looks like it's going right out here. Just like that right there. There you go. Got some very evasive flowers here that are breaking into people's spaces. Let's see. Will that door open now, I think? Yeah, but now it's fighting with a plant. That's going to end up having to be moved. I already foresee it. I do. I foresee it. It's going to have to move. It can't stay there. We're about to have another plant that's going to go out here, which I think having them go out a little bit onto the sidewalk is not a bad call. That's kind of how that thing works, Put plants out there. Hey, come buy our plants. We're out on the sidewalk. But come in and pay for it. I would always be afraid of doing that and having, like, people steal my stuff and run off, because it's out there. It seems like it'd be very easy just to run off with. Alright, we got our stud to leaves. We got another pot and 2 more of our salt lines for our plant, I guess. I feel assaulted by all this. It's, again, like, why not just use brown? Brown for the, I guess, like, the soil aspect. That seems like that would just be the smart thing to do. I mean, it works, I guess. It's just not as well. I made a boo-boo, looks like. My boo-boo is this. I used the wrong stud for that. I got one right, one wrong. The other one goes over here. Which I'm kind of surprised that we're even using these unless we're going through it. But as far as I can tell, we are not sticking anything through there. So the fact that we've got Technic pinholes for our salt ring seems a little awkward. Because again, normally you would use that so you could stick something in there and have that come up. We don't get it. And because we don't get it, I don't get it. Okay, now I am running into some problems with room out here. There you go. That kind of fits. Kind of. We'll make it. And now we're building a sign. So we're going to be building this sign here. And thankfully they're walking through some of how we're doing. I already see something that I will be absolutely changing. For those who know me, a lot of people are seeing this are like, yeah, all right, I already see what's happening. And I cannot. We're going to have a sticker. It's going to go across multiple tiles here. And I just can't. Alright, this is going to go right here on the end. This is going to go here. And then we are now going to the other side. That being said, let's see, we need 1, 2, and then 2 more of these 2x3 tiles. Making sure that's all nice and pressed in there. That's going here, and then here, and then 1 more right here, and then there. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Press it all down, and yeah, we have our sticker going across here. Now, let's do this because I want to do things the right way. Did I put I think I did put my brick separator away. Oh my goodness. A crime against humanity. I'm going to have to use my crocodile brick separator. Alright, so we need label number 1, which is this right here. It says flower. Isn't that Bambi's friend, flower? Okay, so this is a pretty big sticker, so it should line up over multiple things. I already see a problem. One of the problems being it's sticky, super staticky, and is a little long. All right. Now, I know that I have talked to people about my feelings about stickers that go over multiple bricks and plates. And I usually have an amount I'm okay with, and then at a point where I'm like, yeah, that's got to change. See if I can get that to pop down like that. And one of my reasons why I don't like them when they go over things is that when you take something out, you gotta move something, you gotta replace it, you get this. And I don't like that. So normally what I will do, I'll take it, press it down, and then I usually will take a hobby knife. Kids, don't do this without your parents. Parents, if you're doing this isn't your set, don't do it unless someone asks. But I will pull the bricks apart from one another just a little bit. And then I will run that hobby knife right through the seam. Now it's easy to get off. I have sliced my finger open many a times. I don't like that weird sort of thing there. That kind of bothers me, but it's okay. So we got one more up here. And then I'll go this way. This one has a little bit of a weird... There you go. So I do tend to slice my stickers open, so that way it's like, hey, I need to take this apart. I can take it off, not destroying the sticker. Now this is kind of bright on here. It's really hard to read. I might have gone with a little bit darker print, I think. Me personally. But I'm not the designer of this. I'm just the builder of this. But I'm looking at it and I'm like, I would have probably have made that just a little bit darker in its print. Okay, so we got this going here. We've got a 1x2 by 1x2 bracket, a 1x1 by 1x2, and they're all reverse brackets, so they go up instead of down. Traditional brackets will always go down. All right, so this is what we have for our sign. And then we need 57 here. We've got a snot brick, 1x2 snot brick, and then 2 1x1 snot bricks. Why not use a 1x4? Who knows? But, you know, we're good. We're good. All right, so this is where I'm kind of having to do some counts to see exactly what we are supposed to be working on. So 1, I think this goes across here, 2, and 3 different bricks. Now I'm looking here to kind of give myself a count. Looks like into that plate there for sure. Into this plate here, yeah. So again, always looking at your reference. You want to check out and see what you have, because there's a good, it's easy to get off on some of these. It really is. Okay, so we've got one. Not even gonna say, you already know. You already know what I'm gonna say, really? Alright, so we got one there. This one's gonna go right here on the end. Boom. And boom. Unfortunately, this doesn't line up. I would have liked to have seen that line up a little bit more. But, you know. Alright, this is supposed to fit right down in here. So let's take this. We're going to fit that right down in here. So that's going to fit to there. And that presses down into this to create that nice supposed to create a nice facade. Let's do this. We are going to change things up. Let's put these bricks in right here. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to take this, going to push it into there. And we got a little bit of room for these. It's kind of weird because this doesn't So I see what they're doing. They're not having us put these on. I don't know. I think that there could have been another way. So we're gonna put this back together here. And then I'll kind of show you what's going on when we move to the back. Because it's a very, it's kind of an awkward technique. It's like one of those techniques where it's like, wait, why am I doing this? And it's okay. So let's turn this around and take a look. So what's happening is that they've left this part empty, blank, right? They don't have anything in there, and that's, I guess, to line it up or to do X, Y, and Z. And it's I feel like it would have been an easy. So these don't even line up onto the that one brick is about to drive me crazy. And there's not a lot of changing that. You know what I might do? Let's do this. Let's fix this. So that was originally here. We're going to move that over one. We're going to put this here. We're going to put that one right there. Okay. We're going to put this across these three, and then we'll stud this one on. Reason why I do that is that this, every time this was falling off because of that one. So I moved some bricks around. Now, as we come in, we're not actually fitting this into here. And we're not fitting these studs onto this area right up here. Instead, we're fitting the back of these studs to these snot studs right here. So we'll use our fingers. We'll press them in. It's okay. I mean, it's off. It's going to be off center, which is great. It works. Everything lines up here. It lines up over there, though I don't like having these corner gaps. I feel like this should have been a little bit bigger, but it works in what we have. Like, in my opinion, I think it works really well. But learning curve wise, there's some like stuff in it where I'm like, wait, what? The explanation is that we are getting it fixed. Okay, so we got another piece with another sticker. This one's going to be sticker number 3. It says sunrise. Because we all like our sunrise, right? Of course we do. Of course we do. Using my, now, if you haven't ever done it, using a brick separator to put your stickers on is like game changing. It's like using tweezers on a model. Good stuff. Good, absolute beautiful stuff. Look at that. Press that in. Works. Now, this is supposed to go over on this side. So we're on this side. Bottom studs are going to the bottom of this. Boom. Sunrise. Sunrise flowers. Hello there. Works. Works and works. Now, it looks like we're building up on this side here. So let's find our pieces, parts, bits and bobs, and we'll get moving from there. 2 of these regular green leaves. We need 1 and 2 of our studs. And that looks like 1 flower. Now, I try not to, when I was doing my designs, get too crazy with having like studs that had, you know, no holes, studs that had a hole, like just try not to get crazy with it. This one has a lot of, hey, not this one, and it's kind of this back and forth, which feels a little weird in my opinion, but you know, that's just me. But yeah, it's a little odd. Okay, this is supposed to go right here onto the bottom. I'm already seeing some problems here. And I say that because oh, I had it backwards. So studding 1 leaf out, putting that there. That should fit a little bit better. It is a tight fit. I'm not gonna lie. It is gonna be a very, very tight fit. We're gonna press that leaf down. Then we can fit this leaf on here. And I got to tell you, it's tiny hands right now. I do not have tiny hands, so this is kind of breaking my cool, I guess you could say. That's supposed to go right over here. We'll turn that down that way. All right. Again, lots and lots and lots of leaves. 1, 2 of these peggable stems. And this time we got 1 peggable. Looky there. It is tight. It is very tight. Some of these I feel like should be built beforehand. I'm also dealing with a camera over here. I've got like a camera like in my space. I'm talking to you, camera. Alright, so that's supposed to fit onto there. This one is supposed to plug in right up here. See if we can do this without destroying a wall. That's usually my goal. Hey, can I put this peg through without destroying the whole wall? Because that's anybody who is into building, that's kind of like our thing, is like, hey, can we do this without ruining everything that we just got done building? Because that happens quite often. I go to put something in and it crushing the wall, and I'm like, all right. That's my mind and body telling me. That's the build also telling me, hey, you're done for the night, so stop it. It's usually how it goes. Okay, now that I'm seeing all this, I still haven't changed my mind. I still think we need some variants of green. That's just me, man. That is just me. Okay, another leaf, another stem. It's our last stem, stemmy stem. I'll go ahead and plug that in right there. That's going to go right up into here. Can I do it? Yep, it is done. And another leaf and another flower. All same color, nothing has changed. So we'll probably get dark green on the other side, possibly. If we do. The thing is, we might not. It might just be like, we might have a bunch of these leftover dark green leaves for no reason. Okay, now we are kind of trucking and cooking along. So we got a number, I think a number 4 bar with a stopper, and then a 1x1 tile with a vertical clip. Vertical clip is going to fit right onto the bottom of here. Okay. And this, I think, is supposed to fit right up into here. So yeah. Let me get this in here. Try not to get my hand too far in the way. So that, I think that's supposed to go like this. Yeah, I'm kind of wondering how that's going to work, because that feels like that's going to be in the way. I'm just saying, I'm saying based off of things I have done. 1, 2, 3, with all these builds that I've done. Alright, we don't need the double-sided, we need a regular. We do also have a headlight brick, and I'm guessing this is all like electrical work that we're working on. But something to keep in mind is that, yes, we got a double-sided snot and a headlight. We are not using the headlight. We're using a regular snot. How do you know? Because it tells you right there. It says, hey, this one, not that one. So you got to make sure you're paying attention to those. So 167's done. We're going to go 2 more for 168. Boom. And boom. Right there. 169, we're getting our double-sided. Okay. And then we're getting, I think it's like a number 3 bar. It says number 4. but I don't see a number 4, but that's going to go right into here. Okay. And then another barrel brick. And so far, cool, but nothing to reinforce this part of the build. That feels odd. Very, very, very odd. Okay, now we got our headlight and then a 1x1. So we're going to put our headlight brick up on top. 1x1 going right here. Surprisingly, I think that goes back. So that's kind of a weird sort of thingamabob. But, you know. And then this is supposed to fit into here. Now we've got that one stud in the back that's going to pin to here. So we've got that Technic hole. That stud will fit right in there. That's actually a pretty smart sort of move. We plug that in there. That's supposed to fit together. Now that doesn't give me quite a lot of room, so I'm going to lift it out just a little bit more. Bring it all the way to the edge if I can. Just to right there. There we go. That works. And you need to get back up there where you belong, sign. Stop falling off. There we go. Hopefully we're not going to have that issue again, because that would not be good. Okay, so that's supposed to line up there, which, there it goes. So it's almost like a little electrical bar, but I'm sure it's just going to be plant stuff. Plants, plants, plants. Plants, plants. Alright, so we've got 1 and 2. These are going to stack one on top of the other. Kind of like that. And then this one is going right here. We need 2 more. But I want more. I get it, Anakin. But sometimes too much is too much. Okay, so it looks like this one's supposed to be going right here onto this peg. Again, place it down, put it there. Kind of meets up with all this over here. We'll probably want to move. There we go, because I have a feeling we're going to be using these as well. I don't think they're the ones that are going to leave any leaf unturned on here. Okay, so we've got another set of leaves. Alright, and that's supposed to fit onto here, kind of like this. And this is going to fit, I think, over here onto this. Looks good, looks good. Move that out of the way a little bit. And then that bar that we just uncovered, because we're not supposed to cover it. We need 2 of them. We got 1, 2. They're these little number 2 bars with stop on it. So these right here. Little Technic pens in a way. So we got 1 going here. 1 going over here. And this is where our lights are going to go on. However, these are... I believe these are going to be non-functioning lights. They're just... These are there for show, not tell. So, there we go. It looks... I mean, here's the thing. It looks nice. Building technique-wise, this is actually pretty cool. I've used a similar technique like this before. I'll kind of show you what we're doing. Like, as they were showing me like what parts they were pulling, I'm like, yeah, I already know. So you use a transparent head piece. You're going to stud that into a satellite dish like this. You're going to use a 1x1 tile with a vertical clip on it. I'm just going to clip it onto there. There you go. And it creates like a little bit of a hang light. It's cute. The only thing is, if you're wanting it to be lit, you're going to have to find a way to run some power to it, because these have no LEDs in them. They're just there. They're the honey pots hanging over the window, I guess you could say. Just like that. Not bad. Not bad. Okay, one more leaf and one more flower. And then we can leave this page alone. So bad. So bad. You shouldn't encourage me. As a matter of fact, don't encourage me. Go down there in the show notes. Purchase this thing from the shop. Don't help out the channel. As a matter of fact, don't subscribe. Hit that subscribe button to unsubscribe to me. Don't like this. Hit that thumbs up to show that you don't like it. The thumbs down means that you do like it. Nah, if you like it, like it. Comment if you want. You know the routine. Alright. Enough of my shenanigans. Okay, so this is going to be going up on top. And then we've got a lot of this leaf work coming through here. So all in all, this looks nice. I was a little judgy about it because I'm so used to putting my leaves on the 3x5 leaf branches and then going out. But this also works really well. But you do need to plan it with the actual snot bricks and studs. So that is definitely something to keep in mind. We got one of these. 2x3, a 2x2. And let's line these up. We're about to make an AC unit, I believe. And boom. And then 1, 2. So a 1x3 and then a 1x4. So we're going to block this thing out. Make sure it's nice and thick. Then we need a 2x3 that's going right here. And then a 1x1 that's going here. Now, it has us putting a sticker on it. It says that we need sticker number 6, it looks like. So, come over here. We got multiples. So, we're going to grab the first one. Okay, again, using our brick separator as a technique, you're just going to line it up using your brick separator. Once you get it where you want it, then you can press it down. Impressive. Press being the key word. There you go. And you got yourselves a little motor thing. It's okay. I've seen other methods of creating ACs that I feel like are a little bit better, but I am not complaining because it's still pretty cool. Just different AC, different unit, different day. Boom. And then we'll put these 1, 2, and 3 just like that. There's our little AC unit. Now flip it around. And this is going to go right up here. There we go. There's our AC unit and all of that put together right there. And now we need a 2x3. And that's going to finish off this spot right over here. There we go. Take a look at all that we've got over here. It looks nice. I like this conduit work. I actually enjoy that very much. Got the AC. We got the sign over here. Let's turn it a little bit. I still kind of wish these were like smoked colored, kind of like the others, and not just that like that. And I do believe that inside that should have been brown instead of white. But all in all, this thing looks pretty nice. Actually, very, very quite surprised. Alright, let's turn this around to this side. We've got our wire hanging out over here. And it looks like we need a 1x1. This time a dark leaf and another dark leaf. So we are putting the dark ones on the back, the light ones on the front. So I'm guessing there are two different key plants here that we're keeping in mind. We got our 1x1 round plate going over here. And yes, that one does not, absolutely does not have the Technic hole in it. You know how I know? Because the instructions told me so. Oh, if you know, you know, right? Okay, we're going to turn that upwards to here. I think we're going to turn that just a little bit like that. I believe we want it sticking out just oh so slightly. So now we need one more of these 3x5 leaves, two more of these 1x1 studs with 3-leaf combos on it, and we're going one up top, one over here on the bottom, kind of like this, and this should be coming up here, and I believe kind of matching up to this, like that. Like, it's very tight. I like it. I do. I like it a lot. All right, and we are still going because we still have the stairs to build back here as well. So once we get all of our leaves done and everything's on there, we got stairs and etc., etc., etc. This time we're going on these smaller studded parts, like this, and this is going to be going on the top and out right up there. Kind of what we're doing with this, but we'll figure it out. Not quite there yet. Okay, so now we've got this kind of turning up through here. One more leaf and two more of these leaves here, and I think we're bringing it up this way. All right, so let's see. This one gets one on the end, one down here, and then this is supposed to fit right up here. Clutch power so far on a lot of this is, it's nice. It works well. All right, so we do need a 2x6 and two 2x4s, and we got stickers. So number 5 is going to be this sticker that says park. Originally I looked at it and I thought it said pork. Why, I do not know. I'll probably change these at some point down the road. Not, like, is it supposed to be a parking spot? Odd. Weird. That's just me saying it. But that one's supposed to go right over here to this area. Park. Okay. Then this one gets number 8. It says nature outdoor. Okay. Nature usually indicates it's outdoor, if we're talking about the wilderness nature. That's just kind of my common belief in that one. Oh no, I'm going to have one that's going to cause me problems, I believe. There you go. Nature outdoor. In case you needed to know. Hey, did you know nature's outdoor? Did you know water is wet? Technically, I think the argument is that water is not wet. Water is its natural state. So wet is its natural state. So it can't be wet because wet would indicate that something changes. Even though I also see the other end of the argument on that. But I think the idea is that water makes things wet. When their initial state of being is supposed to be dry, you add water to it, they become wet. that's where we get wet from. But water, if its natural state is water, is it itself wet in that way? Kind of hard to say, but honestly, it's also like, well, it's water. Water should be wet. It's a weird argument. Physics and theology and all the thinking stuff. I can't remember who in the world I was talking to. It might have been my wife. I was talking to her about, was it utilitarianism? Was it John Stuart Mill's The Pursuit of Happiness, and the whole theory about happiness and how to pursue it and all that fun stuff. It's like, sometimes I believe they spend probably too much time thinking. That could be good. It could also be very bad. Honestly, these days, I don't feel like we do enough thinking. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we've got 10 of these bricks, and then we'll pull the other stuff. Let's put the actual unit together the way that they have us doing it. So instead of having a traditional like stair piece, we're actually making it, which I think is cool. I think it works. I just don't know how strong it's going to be overall. But so kind of like this. And then I guess we are... yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and grab these. I will probably be building this first and then putting these studs onto the back. The reason why I'm saying that, is for that reason right there. Okay. Let's try this again, shall we? All right. So whenever you are doing one stud sort of stair, something like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, it's not going to be as strong because there's nothing here to help support that. So in that case, you really have to like play your hand at, hey, where does all this go, and figure out how to get things to set. Use each one of these bricks as a way to push itself so it doesn't push against each other, and it'll hold. But it's not going to be the easiest thing in the world to do. We're going to place that up on top. And then this is going to go on the end right there. Okay, now I'll line this up with these stairwell pieces. So we have 20. So with that, we'll start at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead. I usually will do it like this. I don't like putting the bars into the studs and then the studs on the thing, because oftentimes I find I have pushed the bar too far down and it'll no longer stud. So for me, I like to put the studs down first. I really do feel like this right here should have some sort of other something under here to fix that, to hold it where it needs to be. I will probably end up putting something in there just to strengthen that up, because that is just not, it's not very tight. This, I see what they're going for, but it doesn't feel like a very strong sort of connection. So it is problematic. And yes, doing this, if you're holding this in your hand and building it, this would have been worse. So I would definitely encourage, if you are on step 191 through 193, watch this video, build it the way that we're doing it here. I have a feeling not having it here, trying to put all these on and then put all this onto here would have been an absolute disaster. It's already kind of disastrous in its approach, but I have a feeling it would have been oh so much worse if we'd have done it the other way. Boom. Okay. So we're going to build it like this. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I see. Bars and then the ones on top. Okay, so this one we can actually build like this. So we'll put the bar on, the wedge or slope there, and then we will build it from here, and then we'll go down. So this one makes a little bit more sense. It's going to be very repetitive for me. But put your finger under there to support that as you press them down. That seems to be the way to do it, to be quite honest. I'm going to go through them because I got a lot of these parts here. A lot. So that's going to pop into there. Found one of my old buddies, Miss Fry from my old school. She did a really cool painting over the summer. Quite surprised. Need to let her know how cool that painting was. I've got some painting stuff I actually need to do, and I've been working on some things. Again, I can't share them because it's right now it's all development process of things. But yeah, I've got some work that I've been working on. I've quite enjoyed it actually. It's been really a lot of fun. It's for a little gig out in Hollywood. You might have heard of LA. I don't know. Not everybody here is privy to LA, right? It's good. It's good, honest work. It's stuff I've not done in a while, and quite honestly, it has kicked my butt into gear to make me get out there and start doing some more things that I have not been doing. I guess for a while I started to kind of push away against designing and creativity and all that. I kind of felt burnt out, and so I was like, I'm just not doing it anymore. I just haven't felt successful, and it just needed my break. But now that I'm starting to get a little bit more light back in my direction, I need to start doing a little bit more. It's kind of how we all are. Just don't give up on your dreams. You could take hiatus, you could take breaks, but don't give up. Kind of like with the video work. I know I had left the channel for a while and was like, I'm not doing anything, and I kind of code switched and moved to something else. But hey, it's one of those. I'm glad I came back. And if you want to help out the channel, you have to subscribe. Be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications to be alerted if anything comes from me to you. Comment this, that. You know how it runs. You know how those things go. Any and all stuff that you can do that helps. And I definitely appreciate it. Okay, so these are going to pop on right here. I'm trying to do this without destroying all of these stairs. This is a little flimsy in my opinion. I'm not the biggest fan of that. But what can you do? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we got 4 of these. And it looks like we're going to go 1 and 2. So best thing sometimes turn this over like that. It's going to fit right down into here. Do the same thing on this side. Let's see. 1, 2. Just gonna fit it over onto that side. Boom, just like that. And then we've got one more piece that goes over here for this top. Now, surprisingly, we're not putting anything on top of it. I figured we'd have done like some sort of like tile work or something. Maybe an L or like a 2 and then a 3. Something just to flatten that out. And maybe we will on the next portion. But I would definitely say that somewhere down the road we probably would. Now, it has us putting this thing across multiple areas. I'm not quite ready to do that just yet. I personally like it to be on one thing. So there's a part of me that thinks that it should be like on the inside of one of these bricks. So I'm not plugging it in. I'm not taking it off because that tape is really hard to take off and to fix. So I might be looking for another little spot for that. Just as someone who's done these sorts of builds, I kind of want to move it to another spot where it's not just sitting. And I'll show you right here on the edge, on the back of this. And it should go like right there. But that is multiple bricks that would be going on right there. It would be going across multiple bricks. So for me, I'm thinking it could probably go on the inside of here. Just something. I might shoot ahead a little bit, look at what they have, but I'm not placing that just yet. We are going to be looking at 4. Let me look at the back of this and see kind of where. Yeah, they've got everything plugged in. Yeah, we could find another spot and move. I'll show you right here. It's still there. We can move this probably on the inside and have these just run down. I think there's a few other ways to deal with this that would make it feel a little bit better. Honestly, I want to make sure. I kind of wish that this came with a USB. This has a battery pack, which is fine. But the battery pack is not built into this. And that means that if we wanted, like, it would have to go into something like this. But it doesn't actually stay. It would have to lay out here. That feels... like, I'll show you. This doesn't fit up here. It doesn't fit in here. It had to sit out here. That feels a little disingenuous. Like, that wasn't well thought out. So we might be thinking of a little bit different way to get some of the battery pack, router, things like that in there. I do wish it came with a USB port because I feel like it needs it. Honestly, it definitely needs it. Alright, we're going to go ahead. We're going to plug that down for the end of day 3. Day 4 looks like we'll be finishing up the next floor. Sunflower and some stuff out there. It'll be kind of cool. So next floor up is what we got. Let's look at what we got today. Today we've got, of course, the stairs. The cheese stairs. It doesn't have a lot of room for a minifig, though. I will go ahead and say that. It is rather narrow. But there might be a way to rebuild that. We've got this beautiful stuff out here. This looks nice. I did take the plates out of there, the green plates, because I don't want to lose them. I've got a flower that fell. Look at you. What are you doing? I cannot believe that. Here, we'll kind of look at it through here. Got a flower that fell. We've got to figure out, where did that flower go? I have no idea. Oh, it goes over here. Apparently I knocked it over there. It's supposed to go between some studs. I feel like that's not necessarily going to work, so we're going to take it. We're going to fit it right into here. Use the end of that tweezers just to push that down right there. And then we'll turn it so it's not obnoxious. Yeah, and then we got the front of our flower shop with the door. It does stick, so I would like to fix that. Not too keen on this not opening all the way, so let's see if we can move some flowers so that'll allow us to move some things here and there. I want, here's the thing. Do I have minifigs with this set? No. Am I going to be putting minifigs with this set? Probably. Do I want my minifigs to be able to go in and out the door? Most certainly. It is a guaranteed it has to happen. And this area here is very, very tight. Very tight. Almost too tight. The way that this is set up feels too much. I think, honestly, I feel like this should be placed elsewhere. That's going to go here. I mean, that's where it's supposed to go. But look, that's going to stand in the way of that door. And there's really no other way to spin it, move it, turn it, shape it, lick it, stick it, whatever you want. It is the way that is going to be. Well, what can you do? All right, listen, that's all I've got for this one. We're going to move on. We're going to go to bag for tomorrow. It is time for me to stop, quite honestly. Hey, I thank you all for showing up. Listen, if you want to get this set, it's down in the show notes. Subscribe, bell, like, comment, all those things. Share with a friend. Those things really help out the channel. And I cannot do this without you all participating, okay? Listen, hopefully this is meeting you and letting you decide on this set on how you feel about it. Hopefully the building techniques maybe inspire you to do some things that you want to do. And overall just helps us become better budgeted brick builders, which is kind of the goal of what I'm doing right now. So, hey, I thank you all for showing up. Listen, I love you all. Jesus loves you more. There's nothing you can do about it. Good luck with the build and happy brick hunting.